Right. It is cool. It is cool. And you know what? As I think back, it is something I remember. This is something I used to do when I was younger, but I didn't understand it. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Because I was aware of it, but I was like, I didn't understand it until I met you. You know what I mean? Because you put it just perspective, and it confirmed, like, okay, when you on to something when you're young, and you're like, okay, I thought this, and this happened, and it was like, so it was almost like we create things in our life to cause things to happen, and when we become more conscious of it, or we have a life coach like you to kind of put it in perspective, it's almost like, oh, okay. I'm getting it. I understand it more and more. Yeah.
Right.
All right. And it feels good. And, it makes for me, I can smile because all this week, I've been waking up, being more conscious, and starting my day different. Like, okay, I'm in a happy state. You wake up, it's like a fresh slate. So that when you wake up, you want to keep that feeling of momentum going, so it's like, okay, let me think of something happy. Oh, it's sunny outside. Let me hold on to that. You know what I mean? Just anything that, for me, that brings joy. You know what I mean? I hold on to that to help my day, or through some music, just to create that zone for myself.
Right.
But at this,
no, I was just like breathing, like. I was relief, right? And you heard that in one of the videos. And I could say it feels, and I'm doing that, and it feels like relief to me because this is where I wanted to see you, right? Because where you are now is almost completely different from where you were.
Right.
Right. That's why I was encouraging the sessions and all of that, and then they still came. So I'm glad that they're here, and I'm just glad that you are where you are now, right? Because it started, like, even if this is our last conversation, you know enough, right? And that's what I wanted for you.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I think even before I met you, you were somebody I wanted. You get what I'm saying? Like, even when it came to me meeting you, I'm like, yo, I've asked for this. You know what I'm saying? I asked for the direction. I asked for a mentor. I asked for somebody to take me to the next level because I remember thinking to myself, like, okay, I need, the people I was around, I'm like, okay, this is not working. I want to be taken to the next level. I need somebody to mentor me, to get me to the next level in life. And then I found you, on the website or whatever. And then now I'm just like, oh, my God. So it makes me look in on myself and see everything I ever wanted, I've gotten. Down to me going to a black college, down to me going to Clark University. I'll sit and watch A Different World. And I always told myself, I'm going to college. And that was something I really, really wanted. I didn't know how I was going to get there and the way I got there, but I know I got there. And when I looked in on that, I'm like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? It was just like, and I was like, dang, that's so freaking dope. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, I wanted that. And that was something that I stayed true to ever since I was young. I'm going to college. And it's almost like I meditated on that. And I did it, and just the whole process of me going, as I look back, I'm like, yo, I don't even know how, but I know that was God. You know what I mean? That got me to Clark Atlanta, and even when I got there, the people that he placed in my life during that journey was even, you know what I mean, him. You know what I mean? It was just like, yeah, that's amazing, and it keeps me excited to look forward to me achieving more in the future, because another thing I've always said is I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to be a fashion designer. That's another thing that I said since I was little. So, the how.
So let me, I just want to say this. So relax in the knowing. That's what you have to do. Relax in the knowing, because there's nothing different about what's going on now than what happened already. There's nothing different about it. It's this time gap thing, this time gap illusion, if you would call it. That's all it is. There's nothing different about what is happening now. And remember, we say everything is happening now. There's nothing about what's happening now versus what already happened. That's it. So if you relax in the knowing, that will speed up the process.
Right. You said relax in the knowing?
Yes. The knowing that it's going to happen, right? Because everything else that you just talked about, it happened. It took some time. It took some quote-unquote time, right? It took some time to be revealed, but it happened. it took some time to become part of your experience at that moment, but it happened. So what I'm saying to you now is there's no difference between those things and these things.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. And you know what? Me coming back to New York, I knew that, I knew my time up in Atlanta. It's certain things that I felt that I was connected to, because I told myself. And I knew. I said, they was like, well, when you go back to New York? At the time, it was like everybody was telling me, you should be back to New York. Why did you come back to Atlanta? Because I said my time wasn't up in Atlanta. I knew after I graduated in 2009, I moved to New York for that summer. I came back. And I'm like, because there was some unfinished business that I needed to do as far as growth in Atlanta. And then when my time was up, it was hard, but I was okay with it because I knew I needed to come back to do what it is I always wanted to do, which is fashion design. It's like everything's coming back full circle, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and I'm telling you, we hit it already. Relax in the knowing. You will win, I promise.
Okay.
Relax in the knowing. Because think about what you said, and you could go back to it later, but think about what you said as far as even wanting to go to college, even to meeting someone that could mentor you, that could help you get to the next level. All of those things happened in time. So these things, it should take some of the pressure off, because all the things that you're wanting now, if you know that you know that you know, it will be a part of your experience shortly, right? There's no way that it can't be based on the evidence that you've been offered.
Absolutely. And you know what? You're absolutely right. And I know where I get tripped up at is the how. I try, like you said, I try to do all the work to get there, and I think I need to take my hand out the pot and let it go, because I know it's going to happen. So instead of frustrating myself and getting caught up in other people and the pressure and this and the third, I got to step away from all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because then that's when I get off track. You know what I mean? And that's when I lose the focus, because now I allow everything else to come in and just knock me off what I already know.
Right. So, again, just revisit what was. If you revisit what was, when you revisit the college experience, the work was mental. The work was the meditation. The work was in the knowing. That's all the work that you did to get there. Right? And I'm sure that you acted when you was inspired to act. From, okay, I should fill out the application now. I should do this now. You felt it, right? But the work was mental. If you think about it.
It was.
Right.
It really was. It was. And it's crazy. Even down to relationships and friendships, everything that I asked that I wanted at that time, I received. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's crazy. I wanted certain things, and I got it for the experience, and when I didn't want it no more, it went away. Like the season was up.
Right, and because I know how passionate you are about where you want to go and where you're going, I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. There is no difference, right? So relax and loud, but more importantly, relax in the knowing.
Okay.
Because it's the same. There's nothing different about it. It's actually easier now because you know more now. You know better. You do better, right?
Yeah.
And you're doing better. So really, this actually could be a little bit more exciting because you're doing it deliberately. You didn't know what you were doing before. Right? And it happened anyway. So imagine now the momentum that's added to it when you know what you're doing.
Yeah. It feels good, and I tell you, for the last 2 weeks, I've been feeling good. You know what I mean? Because I've been deliberately doing it and being conscious of it, and listening, and like I said, listening to other people's sessions has really been helping me. I'm looking for more. I'm like, it just puts me in a feel good spot, and then to see other people, and I'm excited for them, and that just makes me feel good and be like, wow, and just that positive energy, that positive feedback, and it's just like, it's so fulfilling, It's just something that you can hold on to when you, I guess, going through the storm, then, knowing that you're going to be okay because of past experience and just, knowing that it's going to work, that it's going to be okay.
Right. So let's talk about this for a second, because I feel your energy is more powerful than it was the last time. So let's talk about the difference in the sessions, right? Let's talk about the difference between the last session and this session. What do you use a few words, right? But what do you think it is, and I'll tell you what I think it is.
The difference. The first time I feel I was more resistant, or it was just it was new. So it was like, let me grasp it, let me hang up from what we discussed and let me put it all in perspective and then apply it. I had to let it sink in, and when it did, I applied to certain situations because I needed to see for myself the outcome, and it worked. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay. And another thing is, I'm like, if nothing else works, let me give this a try. You know what I'm saying? I need to see some results. I'm ready for change. So, and then I just held on to that. It was almost like just holding on to that for strength and just like, okay, this is my source of strength to keep me going through. And it just felt good. It just felt good.
Right. And that's good, right? That's really, really good. And I would say, too, and you probably didn't look at it from this perspective, but we stayed general this time, right? We stayed general this time. Last time was more specific, right? Think about it. All the details that we were talking about, from the logo to the business to this to that, it was really, really specific. So it was what it was, right? And it was okay, but feel this. Feel when you stay general, right? Because the ultimate goal is to what? Feel good. And it's okay that you stay general about it. So that's what I'm feeling for you right now. You're just in general about how good you feel. And that's an amazing place to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It really is. Where so I'm anticipation elevating, like, now I'm just like in all areas of my life. I'm just like kind of looking to see what's, like, okay, something else, is gonna what's around the corner for me. I'm open. I'm looking for, I'm ready for something. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm just like, okay, something good else is gonna come next. I'm ready to be surprised. I'm looking for, the next fun adventure. You know what I mean? In the adventure, meaning, it could be something that can knock me off, but I want to be prepared for that so I can stay in a happy space to get through it. You know what I mean? So.
Well, this is the thing, though, because if you stay where you are, it won't knock you off. Like, it may cause you to switch lanes, right? But that's what it does. That's what it does. It's guiding you to what you want. So nothing, if you stay in the space, nothing will come to knock you off. It'll come to shift it. It'll come to shift the direction.
Okay.
Right? And it'll come to create clarity. And what I mean by this, and I said this before, and you probably heard it on one of the other sessions, is when something happens that you don't want, in that moment you get clear about what you do want. So see, it's not about knocking you off. It's about shifting in clarity.
Okay.
So if you're going to look for anything, look for clarity, right? Look for clarity. Right. Look for direction. It's like, I just can't wait to see what the next move is going to be. And I'm okay if it doesn't look right initially, because I know it's going to cause me to go in the right direction. You see?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You're being easy about it. Congratulations, right? You're being easy about it. You're having fun with it. So you really did take pretty much all that we talked about before and applied it. And I feel it, so I'm sure that you do. I know that you do if I do. And it's coming from you. Yeah.
I do. It's because, like, I had to. It's almost like, I might as well be easy. It's no sense of, it's like, okay, this is almost like I can't change certain situations, but what I can do is change my outlook. I can position myself in another mind frame to be okay and think of happy thoughts, and it feels good for me. And that's all I can say. I like the way I feel. I like the space that I'm in. So and I want to maintain that. And it just like, okay, and even being here in a happy space, it just sparks a conversation. And this past week, it has brought so many things closer to me as far as people, as far as just, other, just small opportunities that were just like, wow. A lot of things were coming at me in abundance that were good, but at the same time, I had to make some choices as, you know, okay, this is an opportunity. Do I want to, do I not? You know what I mean? It was just like, dang, all this coming at me is like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, last week, where was all of this, you know?
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Sounds good to me. I'm not even going to take you to a specific place this time. I'm just going to stay right here. So,
Yeah.
Good. So, although we stayed general throughout this session, what were your biggest takeaways?
I don't know. Do I know what other takeaways were? It was just.
Well, let me ask you differently. What are you walking away with this time?
More knowledge, clarity, more understanding, being, you know, more patient. We're still learning that, you know, just being more readiness, if that makes sense. Just being at ease, you know, just relaxing, you know, because things can happen so quick and so fast, and then we can lose control, you know. So it's just like, even in those quick moments, you got to just kind of chill out a little bit. You got to slow it down and just like, oh, okay, you know what I mean, and just need that moment just to, you know, grab hold of something happy or grab hold of clarity. But okay, moving forward, this is how it's going to be. Just to keep that peace of mind, if it makes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, I'm happy for you. I'm excited for you. I'm proud of you. Good work, right? Good work.